Welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to my Chicago World Champs vlog.
She comes. It's Abbie. Let's do it, baby. 1 hour 18:54.
So a bit of a recap from day one, because obviously when I was over there, I only filmed my race clips. I was just not in the headspace to do any talking. I was really just soaking up the experience. So the first race I had was my pro solo, which I only qualified for 2 weeks ago in Riga. And I was really undecided whether I actually wanted to race this or not. So I've only ever enjoyed one solo race, which is my first ever in Glasgow, which was an open where I think just all the pressure was off and I could really just allow myself to enjoy it. Then I had Cologne, which I hated every single second off because that was off the back of an injury. So my performance just wasn't there and I honestly hated it. Then we had Riga, which was my first pro solo, and I hated every single second of that. So when it came to Worlds, I just wasn't sure if I actually wanted to race or not, especially knowing that my recovery at the moment hasn't been great. And we did have the pro doubles on the Sunday, which was my priority and always was going to be my priority. So I wanted to make sure I was as fresh for that as possible. So I really was debating whether or not to do the solo or not. However, I did qualify. I was going all the way out to Chicago anyway. Grace was doing a solo and a mixed doubles, and I kept telling myself, if she gets injured in one of them, we can't do the doubles anyway. So if I turn down my solo, I am going over there for nothing. And also, I should just be proud of myself that I actually did even qualify and make it in my first proper HYROX season. Also, I really wanted to go out there and enjoy a solo. As I said, the last one I did, the only one I've enjoyed was Glasgow back in March, and I just wanted to remind myself that I'm doing this for fun, I'm doing this for enjoyment, and you are actually meant to enjoy races sometimes. So that's what I set out to do, and I'll be honest, like it was by no means easy. Like it was still really hard. It was still a pro solo, but I did kind of wind it back ever so slightly, take it a little bit easier, and really just try and soak in the experience and enjoy it. I actually was smiling quite a lot during that race. Normally in the HYROX, I'm so locked in so much pain, like I cannot smile, whereas I was really enjoying that one. So I finished in 1 hour 18, which is about a minute slower than Riga. However, it felt about 100 times easier, and that was not a good quick course. So the sleds, you might have seen the controversy of the sleds. The sled track was new and the sleds just were not moving. It wasn't that they were heavy, it's that they were getting stuck. I don't really need to explain it. You've probably seen the controversy everywhere, but basically I got stuck with the sleds as well. So to be only a minute off, but also just feel like 100 times better, I am still really pleased with. And my goal was to go out there and enjoy it, which I did. So I've got plenty of time to put down another good solo next season. But that was the day one recap, and then moving into Sunday, which was like the main event for us. That was the doubles, the pro doubles, the Grace, which was our first ever pro race, and here's how it went. So we did sub 60 and 4th place in the world in our first ever pro race together, which is honestly, like, I can't even describe the feeling of crossing the finish line and seeing our result. So quick recap. Well, we did it, first of all, we did it in 59:47. So actually like 13 seconds under 60 minutes, which we were over the moon with. But quick race recap. So going into it, I knew I felt fatigued. Like I said, my legs in particular recovery has just been awful the last couple of months. Like one hard leg day or one hard running session and my legs are wiped for like 3-4 days afterwards. I don't know what's changed, because I used to be able to train twice a day, no problem at all, and recently like I've just been really suffering. So I kind of obviously knew off the back of the solo that I probably wouldn't feel the freshest, hence why I was debating doing it in the first place. In the warm-up, my legs felt really heavy, didn't feel good, and I kind of just sat there and accepted that I was going to be in for an hour of pain, because like what could I do? I just had to get through that race. So it was the runs that really got me. Like my legs were just in so much pain, like I couldn't get them moving, and what was going through my head was just hold on to Grace as long as possible, try and keep the gap as small as possible, just knowing that I was going to be going into the station with a rest. So Grace started and finished every single station, which was so necessary. She definitely carried that race. Last run I was suffering. Like the gap was getting bigger and bigger, and I was debating with myself, like, do I call out to Grace and tell her to slow down? But then I just thought to myself, like, I can't. It's the last kilometre. We're so close to the end. Like, I will not be able to live with myself knowing that I've slowed down this close to the end. Like, I've made it this far. I can do one more K. And what's funny is I said this to Grace afterwards, and she said that even if I had, she wouldn't have slowed down anyway, which is, yeah, quite funny. But that is how it needs to be. Like, you can't slow down on the last K of your HYROX race. So I turned on the burners and honestly, like, I sprinted that last kilometre and I caught up with Grace, and I felt so good, like, going into the wall balls knowing that I'd absolutely given that last kilometre everything. Went into the wall balls, I'm like clinging onto the bar, dying while Grace starts. And then, to be fair, like, I actually hadn't checked my watch going into this, so I didn't know how close we were. Grace had, I think, so she knew that we were going to have to like blast out these wall balls to get the sub 60, which I actually think we did the quickest wall balls we've ever done, even with the pro weight. So yeah, absolutely over the moon. Crossed the line, 59.47, absolutely buzzing. Then we won our heat basically at Worlds. You just race in your heat, so it is kind of like a race. We won our heat, however, then we came fourth by 4 seconds. So in the earlier heats, the earlier 2 heats, there were a couple of couples quicker than us, which was obviously gutting, because you start thinking, like, if we were in the same race, could we have raced them? Could we have got that 4 seconds on them? But you try not to dwell on it too much, because if we were in a race, could they have gone 4 seconds quicker? You know, it's just not worth thinking about. But obviously that is in the back of our minds. Like, we were so close, but we honestly gave it everything. Like we were saying after, we didn't mess up anywhere. Like, if we'd messed up a transition or gone the wrong way, like, you'd really be kicking yourselves. But we really did give it our all. There was nothing obvious where we like missed out on time. But the most exciting part is that we've still got like so much time together to race, and we're both so like early on in our journeys. So I only started in January, and I've been like in and out with like injuries and bits and bobs. I haven't really had a solid training block for ages. Grace is also fairly new to this as well, and she's like a student medic, so like she's been limited on the time that she can spend training. So our next race is pro doubles in London in December, so we've got so much time to improve. And even like with me improving my running, like, and being able to keep up with Grace's running, I think that's already going to take us to a 57, which is super duper exciting. So that was the overall recap of the weekend, and honestly just both races, like, wins for different reasons. Solo, I just really needed to enjoy a race. The doubles, I can't say I enjoyed it during it, but to get such an amazing time, an amazing result at Worlds is also just like such a win. I've just got back from my first proper gym session post HYROX, which was literally just half an hour upper body. But to round off this video, I wanted to talk about 2 things. One being my next fitness goals races I've got booked in, and then 2 being my headphones. But starting with fitness goals, I've got 2 HYROXs booked in. First one isn't until November, end of November, which is Madrid, where I'm doing a pro solo, and hopefully this is my opportunity to redeem myself. As you guys know, my pros have not gone in the solos, have not gone very well this year, so I'm really hoping I can get that 110 that I've been after. Then a week later, I've got pro doubles with Grace in London, where I'm sure we're gonna absolutely smash it, but we would love to win and also love to go for a really good time. Like, I think a 57 something would be incredible, and to be honest, we've got like 4 or 5 months to train, so I think that's really achievable, even if like just me working on my weaknesses, because I know I've got so many, and obviously Grace is going to keep grinding away as well, so she'll be getting better. So honestly, just like super excited for that race. Then in terms of what's actually coming up first, on the 16th of August, I've got the Ultravasan 90, which is a 92-kilometer ultra marathon in Sweden, which I am not prepared for at all. This has been booked for a while, to be fair, but with everything being so like HYROX focused, I just have not been able to add extra training volume in. Like I'm already doing so much running, my body just could not cope with more. So we're about I don't know how many weeks out, 7 weeks out maybe, which is not very long at all to train for an ultra marathon. So from here on out, the goal is just increase my weekly mileage as much as possible, get that weekly long run in, and just try and build up as much as I can. Thankfully, I'm doing it with one of my friends, which I'm so excited for, and she is not super prepared either, so we're in it together. She lives near me, so we are going to start training together, which is great. She's been on holiday, but she's going to be back now. So that will be what the like future vlogs for the next couple of weeks are going to entail, but I'm super excited. It's obviously going to be really hard, I think more mentally challenging than anything, but I'm really like ready for a mental challenge, and I really want to get to that point where, sounds weird, but I want to get to that point where I feel like I can't keep going, and then when I do keep going, you know, like really be proud of myself. I feel like that's really important to have in our fitness journeys, like really push ourselves to the extreme at some point. I might not be saying this in the race, but right now that's my thoughts. Then I've also got Lisbon Marathon end of October, which will be like my PB attempt marathon, which I'm also doing with the same friend. So our PBs are like a minute apart. I think she's like 3:30, or I think she'd be 3:37 and I'm 3:39, I think. So we would love sub 3:30. I think we can do a sub 3:25. Maybe that's too ambitious, but anyway, we'll be running that together. That'll be like the PB attempt, and hopefully off the back of the ultra and all the zone 2, we should be in like a good position to try go for that. So those are the 4 races I've got at the moment. I'm trying to keep races to a minimum and actually give myself solid training blocks in between each thing, because that was my biggest like takeaway from this season, is to plan my schedule a bit better to actually give myself time to train. So a few other odd things might crop up, but I am consciously trying to keep it to a minimum. So at the moment, those are the 4 races I've got booked in for the rest of 2025. Then moving on to the headphones quickly, because I get so many questions about these every single time I wear them on Instagram or TikTok or whatever it is. These are the HYROX Open Fit headphones, which I've been using for over a year, but these specifically are the new 2+ model, which I've been using for like 4 to 6 weeks, but they are actually released now. So when it comes to running in particular, like, I'm sure I'm not alone in thinking this, that you need headphones that are comfortable, especially if you're training for a marathon or an ultra marathon or running a marathon race or whatever it is. You need headphones that are actually comfortable and aren't going to irritate you. So I use these headphones, not these specific ones, but the old ones, for both of my marathons last year, the races, the training, and I'll be using these for my ultra training because they are so comfortable. The silicone on them is really, really soft, so like you honestly just forget that they're there, to be honest. And as they're open ear headphones that hook around the ear, that's really important that you're not going to feel them. So open ear headphones, which is also what I think most people are interested in, basically this bit where the sound comes out doesn't go in your ear canal, it doesn't sit in there like an earbud, it goes on the outside. And what that means is that you can hear the music obviously, but you can also still hear your surroundings, which is really important in particular for running, especially as women, to be able to hear your surroundings for safety, for awareness, whether that's because you're running alone, somewhere dark, by a busy road, whatever it is. I think this is really, really important. So they're super comfy, I forget that they're there, they're open ear so you can hear your surroundings, they're super like stable, is that the right word? Super stable, sturdy. I wear these for my HYROX workouts as well, and even when I'm jumping around doing burpees, they literally don't fall off, which is great. Sound quality is really good. The sound quality on these new versions in particular is great because they've got the new Dolby, I don't know if it's called Dolby 2+ or just new Dolby audio, but basically like it's new and improved. It was already great before and it's even better now. But if you're looking for some new headphones that are really versatile that you can wear for running, the gym, out and about during the day, definitely really recommend these. But that is the end of my Chicago World Champs vlog. Thank you so much for watching this, and hopefully you've still enjoyed it, even though I didn't get too many clips out and about in Chicago. Hopefully you still enjoyed watching the race clips, and you know, you've been able to like gather my thoughts from everything I've said since I've been home. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you so much again. Thank you for the support. Thank you to everyone that came up to me and said hello in Chicago. I love meeting you guys, especially at races. And yeah, see you for the next vlog. Thank you so much for watching.